Welcome to SEOconspiracy.com. Today is a big day, my friend. You're going to learn how to give Google what it wants. Why do you deserve to be number one and stay number one for your favorite keywords on Google? How can you be relevant on a topic? And even if I'm stretching it for some of you, how do you become famous on the internet? That's the one single question that we need to answer today. And we're even going to go beyond just SEO, especially SEO desktop version. We're going to integrate a strong SEO layer within a global content marketing strategy. But first, let me get inside your head for a couple of minutes. Because I've been there. I started SEO in 2004 and I've seen it all. So are you afraid to wake up and see all your traffic, your ranking dropped? Do you hear like one truth about SEO and then a couple of minutes later you hear like the exact opposite? Do you struggle like to find the right means to reach your goals? Do you learn so much stuff? Are you so advanced that now it's a big messy cloud and you can't find like the rails to grab on? Don't just like no more question marks, or at least the minimum question marks needed to have a sound, solid, long-term strategy. And no more guessing, no more magic tricks. Do you have also those technical limitations and marketing priorities that just kill your SEO? Just don't know how to figure it out. Website is a mess and you're trying your best, but and also are you tired to hear like it depends, favorite answers from an SEO if you ask a question? Yeah, sure. It depends. Are you an algorithm chaser? You go from Google update to Google update and trying to still find a little trick that's going to make everything work for you. I'm not going to trap you into sales funnel. You're not going to give out your email to receive a bunch of free stuff and then you end up buying some course. No, this is 100% free. No plug. No promo code, no nothing. I've done it before. I've done it in 2012, but it was in French. I gave it all out. And I'm doing it again today in English. So yes, it's a big day because it changed everything for me. And I hope it's going to change everything for you. Before we get into the real action plan, first we're going to go from the why, then the how, and finally the what. So I'm going to need about 15-20 minutes to explain the context. Then we're going to get into the action plan. And we're here for a while, but yes, I need to explain everything from A to Z, the whole system. I'm not selling anything. If I was going to sell something, I would tell you. But today, no. I take the opposite approach. No strings attached, because I believe that if I can deliver, it will come back to me one way or another. First, I want to prove to you that what I say makes sense. I want to prove to you that my strategy works, and if you have the great idea to apply it and you see results, then yes, afterwards, maybe we'll do some business. I've always been a giver without asking anything back. It's served me well since content creator, keynote speaker, SEO consultant by day, search engine hacker by night since 2004. And I started doing marketing, branding, PR, communication in 1994. So yeah, I'm an old dog. I'm an OG. I've been there for a while. And I've seen a bunch. I got a couple of things I can teach you, I think. So please, sit down, relax, listen, understand, and apply. Let me prove that I talk the walk and walk the talk. That I can tell you how to seduce Google and pretty much any algorithm, because we're going to build a whole wall, and Google SEO is just one brick of that wall. We will go beyond Google SEO. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a strong SEO layer based on semantics SEO. That's my specialty. And we're going to integrate that within a global content marketing strategy. My world, my small world is search. However, my small world, well, it went beyond Google. At first, a while ago, yes, it was simple. It was one keyword, one page, a CTR, click-through rate, and money. Simple. 100% Google. Now it's all over us. So, if people search, I want to be there. I want you to be there. Wherever they are, whatever they are doing. If there's an intent, there's a possibility for you to help out, and there's an opportunity for you to end up making a sale. But we got to be smart about it. It's a noisy world. It's a crowded world out there. And we have to fight for the attention, and especially I like to fight for what's called undervalued attention. So hang on, let me explain in a couple of minutes. But let me finish the introduction, because we're going to focus on algorithms. We're going to focus on seducing Google algorithms, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it is. Wherever they search. Yeah, on Twitch or TikTok, not so much search, but it might be part of, might be a brick in the wall. So now you're going to give Google what it wants. You're going to know how and what to feed the beast. But I'm going to leave it up to you to be good at content. If all you can do is create Google text, food for search engine, well, I've been there, done it. I can't blame you. If you can make a piece of content that's going to win the Pulitzer Prize, well, all the better. But we enter a territory where it's just a matter of opinions, and I won't get into that. I'll let you be the best at what you can produce. I'll leave it up to you. That's one of the question marks left. Are you good enough? Are you creative enough? Can you do the job beyond just seducing algorithms? Do you have real people reading your stuff, watching your videos, looking at your pictures? That's the only question mark that I'm not going to resolve today. The only challenge you have is it's a long video in YouTube terms, but it's very short for me. What I'm going to lay out for you for free, it's going to take about 2 hours. I usually do it in 15 to 20 hours. If I really want to be quick, I can do it in 10. But for my students and my clients, it takes a few weeks. So listen again and again and again. Every time you're going to hear again this video, you're going to understand something different, something more. You're going to level up. Because some of the sentences I'm going to pull out, behind it, there's a whole world opening up. But yeah, I'm not keeping anything for myself, I swear. I'm going to tell you everything. It's just going to go, it's fully packed, and we're going to go fast. We have a lot to cover. Some of you are listening on the audio podcast, and I want to make sure this is a huge challenge for me. I want to make sure that everyone understands, especially you who is listening in the audio version of this podcast. So I'm going to limit what I show on screen, and whatever I show on screen, I'm going to make sure I describe it well enough for you to understand. Also, I'm going to throw out some keywords, some concepts, some ideas that you're going to have to search for yourself on your own. I don't have the time. With my clients and my students, yeah, I'm going into details, but I will say it. I will say, okay, this is a new concept that you might know or not. Go dig, go search, educate yourself about that to level up. We're definitely going to go from A to Z, step 1, step 2, about 10 steps. I believe in the power of checklist. I have my secret notebook here. And how do you solve complex problems? Well, you break it down into simple steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, simple. You want to reach your goal. You want to achieve something. You have to go from that goal. What do I want to achieve? I want to be first on Google. Okay, that's my goal. I reverse engineer all the steps leading to that, first on reverse, until you can analyze your current state, where you are at today, and then you go back, you move forward, moving towards that goal. And you'll see that, yes, it's about SEO, but you understand very quickly why everything around SEO is also as important as SEO. Nobody owes you anything. It's a very noisy world. People are very busy. They are bombarded by messages all day, all night. And you get a breakthrough. You get to break through the noise. Getting attention from people is the name of the game. That's what you are. You deal attention. Furthermore, I like the game of undervalued attention. And on the web, everybody is going to focus on the bottom part. Everybody is fighting at the same spot where there is conversion, sales, and it's binary. Buy or leave. Buy or leave. And that's only 10% of the information funnel. 60% of the information funnel is information, research. You're going to recognize the need and you educate yourself about something. Then that's the first layer of the pyramid. It's a reverse pyramid, pointing down. So the first layer, 60%. Second layer, 30% of the time is spent on consideration. You evaluate, you compare. And then only 10% of the time is spent on buying and sticking on with the brand. You can go check out the 2011 study ZMOT by Google, ZMOT, and you'll understand that the last part is strongly based on emotion. So some pretend to navigate throughout the 90% of undervalued attention, but because they call this pyramid, this reverse pyramid, the conversion funnel, well, they always try to sell. If you take it as the information funnel, it puts everything in the right place. It's a different mindset. You're not going to be about selling. You understand that you have to be there to help out. You have to be there to help out the person when they are gathering information. It's not time to sell. When they are evaluating, it's not time to sell, but you still have to be there. So this pyramid of 60% information, 30% consideration, 10% conversion, that's what it's all about. That's what we're going to do. And then, at the bottom, the 10%, that's where we get into what I call the conversion funnel. And that's another game. But first, let me explain how it's all started. In 2004, I finished third at a SEO contest. So what does that mean? They give you a silly keyword and you have a few months, it was 3 months, to rank first to win the contest. I finished third. I didn't win, but I figured out Google. I spent 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to figure out how and what to feed the beast. And I got it. I figured it out back then, and then I evolved. I see that today the game is here on the smartphone, on the mobile device. That's what it's all about. And I still hear SEOs making big plans, giving big lessons about Google desktop version. I'm not saying Google desktop version is dead. I'm just saying that's only part of the solution. And what about YouTube? And what about the mobile? And what about Reddit? And what about TikTok, Instagram? All that stuff. It all matters. It's all part of that ecosystem, of that customer journey. It's going to take a bunch of weeks, and that person is going to see your content 37 times from 15 different pipelines. And then at the end, if you did a good job, yes, you're going to make a sale. In 2004, when I finished that SEO contest, I was speaking to my friend TJ, Sim64, for those in the knows. Well, I was very proud of my backlinks. And I think I had like a page rank 7 or 8, and I was showing him all those crazy spots that I found to get some page rank juice. And he was like, yeah, man, your backlinks are cool, but everybody's got cool backlinks. However, all the content you build and how you linked it, that's interesting. Remember, a link is a link. And that stuck with me. A link is a link. From 2004 to 2007, I worked on the strategy. Like I said, I defined the goal and I tried to reverse engineer until where I was today to figure it out. 2007, I started to apply it to my own sites and to my clients, and it worked. It worked very well. Then 2012, I released it for free to the world. Well, except it was in French. So it's the French world. And since then, it's been a crazy ride. I mean, when I see where I started as far as tools, as far as knowledge, and where I'm at now, 8 years later, wow, it's crazy. And I'm ashamed to say that I waited that long to explain everything to you, but never too late. So, let's go. If you want to search in French for Cocon Sémantique, COCONSEMANTIQUE, well, you'll get a sense of what I created. Some people translated it into semantic cocoon, but doesn't ring for me. I don't know. It's not doing it in English. So I picked topical mesh because in French we don't have the word topical. So I used the word semantic, but semantic just might sound smart, but it's not really what I meant. Topical is exactly what I meant. Everything around the topic, everything that is in relation to the topic. And then, it's a big mesh. The idea of a cocoon is there is something alive, precious inside, and around it there's a very dense mesh. There's a very dense network. That's what it was, but I think the idea of a mesh is easier to illustrate my thought. So, topical mesh it is. Please pay attention. I'm not a guru. A guru will say, my dope is the best and the rest is crap. I'm going to say, my dope is the best, but if you got some good stuff, then good for you. I'm happy. All that matters is that does it work or not? It's binary. do you rank or not? Are you first or not? That's it. The truth is on the screen. Many people talk the walk, but there's nothing behind it. Yeah, this works for real. And it's gonna make sense. You understand, you'll visualize why it makes sense, and that's how you should do the job and why it's gonna work without a doubt. We're gonna have only one question mark left, and that's it. All the rest, yes, just mechanics. You just gotta pull some fuel in it, and that's it. For the past almost 17 years, I've witnessed so many SEO strategies that just relied on take a coin, flip it, and then heads or tails. Do you really want to leave the flip of a coin drive your SEO strategy? Because old school SEO, that's what it was about. Old school SEO is you build a page optimized for a keyword. You can put just a bunch of text at the bottom of your product page, or just build a whole landing page optimized for that keyword. And yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying sometimes it works, most of the times it doesn't, and it works less and less. Especially because old school SEO, when I started, it was just about repeating the keyword. If you want to rank on something, well, you put that keyword as many times as you can, everywhere you can on the source code, and hopefully then you blast some backlinks and it's gonna work. Now, this whole topical, semantic clustering, entity, SEO, search, whatever, it's easy. I'm gonna make it simple for you to understand. Forget the theory. I'm used to explain it in plain words with easy examples to understand. It's all gonna make sense. Let's go. Let's do it. What do you need? Take a piece of paper, a pen. You need the basics of SEO. I'm not gonna teach you how to do keyword research. I'm not gonna teach you what is PageRank, what is a backlink. We're gonna get into a few advanced concepts, and I'm gonna bring up some new notions. I will tell you to dig in on your own. But the basics, just the fundamentals, that's it. Also, for sure, you gotta be prepared to work. I'm not saying you gotta work like crazy. I like to work smart. Less is more. We're gonna do less, but better. We're gonna be smart about it. Still, depending on your level of ambition, depending on your goals, and that's the only question mark remaining, is do you have the means to reach your goal? Time and or money. If you got both, that's the best. And I'm not gonna plug anything. I'm gonna name a couple of tools, but yeah, I'm not here to sell anything. You can do it on your own, 100% free. What is that goal? What do we want to achieve? What I call the traffic in 3/3. And you got different notions here. Very simple. 1/3 of your traffic should come from search engines. That's basic popularity, backlinks, PageRank. The stronger you are, the more keywords you're gonna reach, and the bigger the slice of organic search, mainly on Google, I guess. The search engine part is popularity, just basic popularity, PageRank, backlinks. Second part is referring sites. That's the most difficult part. That's when you have to convince people to vote for you. You have to convince people to send you qualified traffic. And that might count or not for the PageRank, for the popularity part. Because if some influencer is going to send you tons of traffic from Twitter or Instagram, well, guess what? That link has a condom called rel nofollow, so meaning it's not gonna transmit any PageRank juice, meaning it's not gonna might impact indirectly, but let's keep it simple. It's not gonna impact your portion of traffic coming from search engine. And the last part is direct traffic. That's authority. You build a brand, people are searching for your brand directly in the search engine, or they are typing the name of your website directly in the address bar, or just coming in from the bookmarks. That's the goal. If we reach that perfect pie of traffic in 3/3, I think that's the end of the road. I think once we get there, there's nothing behind it. We have a sound, stable, long-term strategy. It's all good. Then you got to work to maintain it. But that's your North Star. That's the goal you want to reach. And you have to reverse all the steps back to where you are at now, and then go back again, going forward, trying to reach that goal. So, popularity, notoriety, authority. Popularity, notoriety, authority. 3 levels of consciousness about what kind of traffic you want to get, how do you want to reach out, how do you want to grab the attention in order to deserve to be recognized, to deserve to be part of, well, this big, territory that's called internet and the web in particular. How do you penetrate it? How do you go about becoming famous on this new territory? That's why if you're SEO, you are a guide for your clients, or if you're learning SEO, well, you got to learn all the codes and you got to learn how that works, all the ins and outs of what is the great strategy and the action plan required to break through, to get the attention. Before we get into the first step, imagine that what a messy internal structure, internal linking could look like. If you go on the Instagram or Twitter account of SEO Conspiracy, well, you're going to see many visualizations. You're going to see crawls of websites that show how the page rank and the semantic rank or semantic juice is flowing throughout the site. And I can tell you, just by looking at the crawl, at the visualization, what kind of website it is. I can see that the mega menu of an e-commerce, or I can see the effect of the structure of a blog with the tags, categories, author pages, and all that stuff. And also the way the pages are not, the size of the nodes are not balanced. This is the topical mesh is building the perfect infrastructure where, yes, you have those silos and the page rank is flowing well, the semantic juice is flowing well. Who is in relation to what and why? That's the name of the game. Who is in relation to what and why? If you understand what goes behind this phrase, well, you can shut down the video and go do something more productive. But who is in relation to what and why? That's happening on the page, around the page within the site, and around the URL of site as well. Same concept. And it's just not simple siloing, clustering, siloing, topical, semantic, whatever. No, you'll see, it's a lot more than that. It's not just a matter of putting next to another like a directory, okay. No. It's based upon that principle. Yes, the topical page rank by Google used ODP, the famous directory, to understand who is in relation to what and why. And there was a tab on the Google homepage with directory. And I believe that they were using that tab to understand what people were clicking on and how they were associating things. I also believe that it was not scalable. That's why they stopped it. But interesting. Who is in relation to what and why? The first step, now we get to the first step. Now we get to work, for real. Oops, sorry. I let down my couple of papers. So we first have to understand who you're talking to and who are you. So you have different level of ambitions in the exercises that I'm going to give you. The first level is just understanding the buyer persona. Here's a keyword that you're going to need to investigate. If you don't know how to build the buyer persona, look it up. Customer journey, same thing. If you don't have a website, just imagine it. If you have a website, well, imagine it, but for real. Be more practical. Use the data. But you got to know who you're talking to and use the Pareto principle. 80-20. 20% of your clients make up 80% of your income. 20% of the contacts in your address book on your phone make up 80% of your calls, and so on. 20% of the branches on a tree make up 80% of the flowers. And I will even go into an ultra Pareto principle with saying that 5% of your pages will make up 65%. And then second level of pages will have like the 15% that will make up the 20%. So now, of course, averages. If you follow the average, then you're just going to be average. But it's a starting point. And Pareto principle is, I believe in it. So don't go overboard. Don't build 20 buyer persona. There's a cool tool, Xtensio, xtensio.com. The free version won't enable you to share or print or whatever, but yeah, it's a pretty cool tool to buy buyer personas, and they also have a bunch of other cool tools for businesses. So first question you gotta ask yourself is, how are you gonna help me? What are you doing for me? Sorry, you're not gonna ask yourself. Is your visitor, when it comes or he or she lands on your page, that's the first question. How are you gonna help me out? Second question is, who are you? Third question is, what are we doing now? That might seem obvious, but yeah, what do you want me to do? I'm on your page, what's next? And then the last question, the most difficult, why you? Why should we keep on continuing the journey? So, buyer persona, customer journey, that's to figure out who you're talking to. Those 4 questions, if you are good, if you're on a challenge, well, on any important page, those famous 5 to 20% of the pages, try to answer them in less than 5 seconds. It's possible. My clients, my students, I do it. You can do it. 5 seconds to answer. How are you going to help me? Who are you? What are we doing now? And why you? The more you immerse yourself into the buyer persona, the more you prepare that phase, and the more you're going to be able to be good at the next step. But then, who are you? So I tell my clients and my students, you got to explain what's your story. Pour down your heart and your guts. Not like I created my company in 2007 and blah blah, I had my first. No. What are your values? What are you here for? Go from the why to the how and then the what. What, and if it's just to make money, you gotta say it. Okay, if you're doing this just for the money, that has to be stated. It's important. I'm not judging, but we gotta know what's up. And don't lie to yourself. Don't pretend that you want to do something, that you're about something, and then it's not going to show up online. That's the worst case scenario that I see with these exercises. When I read something terrific and I'm like, this sounds too good to be true. I bet that if I go on the website, I'm going to have no indication of the storytelling, of all that stuff, of how the empathy is felt, and so on. So what's your story? Then keywords, but not SEO keywords. A bunch of words that represent who you are, your values. What are you doing in there? Why are you doing this? Then I get into an exercise where you have to describe your brand in a very informal manner. So you just gotta unleash and play with your baseline or description of your brand and try to get loose. This exercise always, or very often, finds some gems in there, some very cool things that we can build upon. Third question, what are we doing now? Take a page, again, try to answer those 4 questions in 5 seconds and analyze, okay, what are we doing now? What do you want me to click? And if you have different intents, different options to where to click, well, which one is the main one? And the last question is why you? There to help you out. There's a big question. What would happen if you didn't exist? How do you change the world? Yeah, that's a corny question, sure. And the answer is gonna depend on what you're here to do. You don't have to change the world, but maybe you want to change your world, okay? And how your world integrates into the whole scheme of things, that's a very interesting discussion. But start with your world. Then pick a few famous characters, they don't have to be real, who can represent your brand, not influencers, no sponsoring. For example, an architect, let's say Mozart, okay, the guy is dead, long time ago, so you can't sponsor him. For maybe let's find another example. For a startup, let's say Indiana Jones, okay, that's a fictional character. So try to pick some well-known, dead or alive, fictional or real people who can, so you can easily analyze, easily imagine what is your brand about because of the relations, the way we perceive those characters. And then another keyword for you, unique value proposition or unique selling proposition. What makes you special? Why do you deserve to be special? Why do you deserve people to pay attention to what you do? Remember that you are the idea. If you just copy the leader in the industry, if you just follow the trend, if you've just tried to please everyone and have this tasteless message, the content, the design, everything, you don't stand out, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work to try to please everyone. You gotta talk to your buyer persona first. You're not going to solve the rest of the world. You're not going to let down everybody else, but you're going to talk to your main target first, and you're going to talk to that person perfectly. Everything counts. The colors of your website, if it's modern, old school, the tone of your content, everything counts. So yeah, if you find your unique value proposition, and that's a big task. It goes way beyond the scope of this podcast. So yeah, some brands paid millions and they never figured out why, because they started with the what, then they figured out the how, and eventually they start thinking about the why. The great brands started with the why, then the how, and then the what. Some dude called Simon Sinek made this why thing famous, but like me, Topic Omesh, I didn't invent anything. I just made it simple for you. And that guy did the same thing with the concept of the why. So check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm getting thirsty here. So yeah, what's next? Remember that for phase 2, you need to be well prepared. You need to be in the head of your buyer persona. You gotta forget who you are. You don't have a website. You are not you. You are that person you define on the buyer persona sheet. And you're gonna build what's called a mind map. So you don't need to use a mind mapping tool. You can totally use pen or paper, but if you've never used a mind mapping tool, it's pretty cool. But I've seen it on whiteboards, paper, whatever. It all works. And you want to start at the center with the benefit, not with what you're selling. Go beyond the product or the service. What are you really selling? Okay? Let's take the example that I want to learn how to speak French. Okay? It's not I want to buy a cool mobile app. Let's pretend you're selling a mobile app, okay? To learn French. Well, at the center, if you are into the buyer persona's brain, you're not going to ask yourself, hey, I just want to buy this, I just want to pay for this incredible mobile app to learn French fast. No. You got to explore the whole journey. Remember the information funnel? 60% of the time is spent searching, gathering information. 30% of the time is spent evaluating, considering, comparing, and only 10% of the time is spent on acquisition. So I could say that I have two options. I want to speak French. To the target, the query is how to learn French fast. And I have two options. I'm going to go for paid courses or self-taught. Paid courses, in real life, by phone, by mail, like paper mail, okay, old school, or the internet. If I want to learn by myself, then I could go traveling abroad. I could find a friend or lover. French lovers, they do it better. Can read books, can watch TV, movies, with subtitles, that might help. I got to explore the whole journey from a buyer persona perspective. And you got to build a huge mind map. Explore everything. No censorship. You're not going to bleed. You're not going to spend any money. It's just a nod on the mind mapping tool or a bubble on a piece of paper on a whiteboard. Don't censor yourself. Go wild all the way. The bigger the better. Yeah, because volume is important. Remember that each node is a page, and each page has a potential to build some links to do the job. So now, if we go a little deeper into that journey, then yeah, self-taught, internet. I want to learn English fast, and yeah, I can then encounter mobile apps. I see like a review of different mobile apps, and I'm gonna pick yours. And that might be 7, 8, 27 level deeps down in the mind map, in the journey. It doesn't matter. We'll take care of it. Just right now, build it from an organic perspective. Don't think from a seller's perspective. Think from the perspective of the demand, from your target, from your potential customer. And the more you're going to get into that persona, the better it's going to be. Don't put all your keywords type of pages close to the center. No. We'll take care of that later. That's the most challenging for many people. First, trying to find what they are really selling behind the product or the service. I know, for example, I like the example of a client who, his business is about rental, holidays, vacation rentals, right? On the Spanish Costa Brava. So is he really selling rentals for the summer? Nice house with a pool on the seashore? Well, after digging in, we figured out, no, what he's selling is a moment for the family or friends to get together. In this fast-paced, crazy life, well, we need a break. We need that moment of peace. It's more than just holidays. It's a time to bond, to get back together. It's a very precious time. That's what he's selling. Beyond the product of the service or the service. Features tell, benefits sell. Find out what you're really selling. That's maybe the most challenging for some of you. And second, yeah, forget who you are. If you keep on grabbing on, I want to sell, it's not going to work. Just hold on. Just follow the steps. First step, you got to think from the buyer's perspective and go beyond just the act of buying. Go beyond that last 10% of the information funnel. Step 3 is what I call the gray area analysis. So what it comes down to is you build a spreadsheet where you're going to have column 1 is the URL, okay? The page. Just copy and paste the exact URL. And if that page is ranking for several keywords, just build another line. Column 2 is going to be the title tag. Just copy and paste exactly what is inside the title tag. Column 3 is going to be the ranking. What position are you in right now? And the gray area for me is where your website ranks between number 4 and number 20 or even 30. That's what I call the gray area. Because if you're not in the top 3, well, you didn't do the job. You gotta be in the top 3. And if you want to think about the mobile, Google Mobile, yeah, that's only the first one. There is no spot for second on mobile. So that's even more difficult. But yeah, let's keep it simple for now. So what is your ranking? Then you're going to need a column with the difficulty level. And that's a very important one because I'm going to tell you a little bit later on about how to smell the SERP, what does Google has versus what does Google want. But you also need to get a feel about, is it going to be difficult or not? Am I going to have to throw a lot of assets? Do I need to spend a lot of time and or money to achieve my goals? And you get a lot of tools that offer the keyword difficulty score or whatever. You could do like a 25 column spreadsheet and cross down data and all this. Yeah, sure. I'm just going to give you one very simple trick. Go into Google and you can use 2 different operators, all in title and in title. Okay? Because if we take it from the basics of SEO, first SEO lesson is put the keyword in the title tag. Therefore, if a page doesn't have the keyword in the title tag, in my opinion, it's not a competition. It's not part of the competition. So we're going to sort out. We're going to exclude all the pages that don't have the keyword in the title tag with the all in title. And the problem is that those operators are only used by SEOs. So Google is sometimes pulling some out. All in title still works, but if you see it bugging out, and you can compare both in title or in all in title keywords. And then with that result, with all in title, if you get below 5,000 results, it's low competition. Between 5 to 10,000 results, it's medium competition. And above 10,000, well, that's high competition. With in title, which is a little broader, below 10,000 results, it's low competition. Between 10 to 100,000, it's medium, and above 100,000, it's high competition. Make sense? So that's very quick. It's just going to give you like a very quick screenshot, or is it more or less difficult to am I going to have to push more or less to achieve my goals? And again, feel free to use all the keywords difficulty scores you want. That's the ones I've been using for over 15 years and served me good. It works. If Google pulls them out one day, I'll be sad, but hey, that's the way it goes. A good SEO never gives up. Never gives up. We adapt. We can survive a pandemic, nuclear war, whatever. We'll always survive. That's what a good SEO is made of. Okay. So once you do this analysis, forgot. Last column is, next column is, before last is the keywords you want to rank for. Important, okay? You got to put down the keywords. And the last column is, if the page has technical limitations and marketing priorities, that could be blocking factors for SEO. For example, if it's a homepage, well, you got to put down that it's a homepage, because a homepage has strong technical limitations and strong marketing priorities that can totally block out what we can do or what we want to do with SEO. If it's a contact page, if it's the root category, a form, whatever it is, okay, if anything that could limit the SEO optimization, you gotta write it down. So now you're gonna use that file later to evaluate what do I do. Okay, 17th on Google for a good keyword, and remember that middle of page 2 is what we say where Google buries the dead bodies. I sometimes prefer to come from like position 100 than move from 15 to top 3, because you are not bad enough to be blown away, but still you're not good enough to be on first page. And honestly, on any keyword, it's not that hard to reach first page. I mean, some keywords is gonna take a lot more resources, again, time and or money, but yeah, it's totally doable. And the closer you get to the first spot, the harder it gets. That's the name of the game. Sorry, I gotta take a sip. I'm getting thirsty here. So later on in the strategy, you're gonna use that file, and you got 3 options. First option is, my page is good, it's perfect, it answers the intent, it's well optimized. Remember, you only have 2 levers, on page and links. Okay, you got the page. How well does it corresponds to how the algorithms understand if it's relevant or not. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes. And also, do people like it? That's also a good signal. You know, if it's just in the introduction. Remember when I said I'm gonna leave you the judge of how good you are, how creative you are, if you just can publish food for search engines, or if you can publish something that's worthwhile. Well, that's when it comes to analyze that page. Is that page doing the job? Are we touching it or not? If it's perfect, well, all you got to do is links. How do you do links? With the topical mesh, with the internal linking, or backlinks. Option 2, that page can be improved. There is some potential there, but the intent is kind of awkward, and yeah, the optimization is silly, it's old school. There's this big block of Google text. Yeah, I want to improve it. Or option 3 is, I want to eliminate that page. And it doesn't have to be physically eliminated from the server. It could just be, okay, I'm going to build a new page, and I'm going to go battle for that keyword with a new page. And that might depend also on your analysis of the smell of the SERP. More on that in a few minutes. First, you got to go back to the mind map, and you got to finalize it. So my mind maps have full of little icons, emoticons, data. There's everything when I want to bring back the offer on the demand. Meaning, we build an organic mind map the way a buyer persona will think about the journey. You know, we will describe the journey into the information funnel. So now you're going to bring back your keywords, and you got to tweak around the mind map to adapt the offer upon the demand. You might have to build new branches, you might have to, but still, don't try to bring everything important to you close to the center. If your most important pages are 17 levels deep, leave it there. We're going to take care of it. Don't worry. It's part of the plan. But from an organic perspective, from who is in relation to what and why, well, if your most important page, your money-making page, is 17 levels deep because that's the way the content is organized, leave it there. We're going to take care of it. It's also time to bring interlinking into action, meaning between the silos, you can build links. Extreme siloing is good, But in my experience, extreme siloing is very interesting if you have thin content. What I call thin content doesn't have to do anything with the size of the content. It's just that your content is very, very similar to everybody else above you. If you are 107 on a keyword and 106 pages right before you are pretty much the same than you, well, that's what I call thin content. And especially if you are product pages, leads, classified, all that stuff, thin content. Doesn't mean it has no value. It's not what I call zombie pages, but still, not great content, right? Not the evergreen information. Topical mesh is based on strong, high value, evergreen type of content. No news, no blogs, none of that. So, if you got thin content, doing an extreme siloing, so really like juice proof, no leaks into the silos, well, that might make a difference with the others. But if you understand the reasonable surfer, if you understand the topical PageRank, Ngrams, TF-EDF, Salton cosinus, all those algorithms, you're going to understand that if your content is rich, if you got high level, deep, very strong page, well, Google is able to sort out the block of content and the links within the content and the menus and all that stuff. Those links count less. And I use that very precisely. I use links within content or links in a list or in a menu or at the bottom of the page for different purposes. I believe that the position of the link within the source code is a factor. It's important. It counts, especially what comes before and after the link. You need to give it context. You need to, again, I was going to spoil my next, in a couple of steps, I'm going to explain to you, and you understand why you need to put context before and after the link. So first, sorry about that. Let's move on. You need to put on this each node, you also need to put the exact query you are targeting. And not all the nodes might target a keyword. You also need to put that difficulty level, okay? Low competition, middle, or high. You also need to put if that page is existing on your website. If it's if it's option 1, I leave it as is. Option 2, I want to improve it. Or option 3, I want to eliminate it. I want to build a new page. You got to put all the indicators in this document. It's your roadmap for victory. The goal is, if you're able to put down, hold on 1 second. If you're able to draw the map, the mind map, and make it look like your website, okay, if the internal linking you build on your mind mapping tool looks like the crawl of your website, you win the game. That's what you need to do. If you're able to do that, well, you figured everything else. You won, okay? And the issue here is, even if you are not able to go as extreme siloing, building something crazy intense as far as the topical mesh with silos that don't leak, with the size of the flow of the PageRank and the semantic juice that's just perfect, that's awesome. But most of the time, it won't happen that way. Just by trying to reach that goal, you're going to win. Even if you got some leaks, even if it's not flowing perfectly, just trying to reach that goal will make you win. Trust me. it works. One word about the links between the silos. Who is in relation to what and why is more important than siloing. So if you got cross-link between silos and that makes sense, build them, please. However, if you got too many links between different silos, that could be a warning. Maybe you need to merge them, maybe you need to subdivide reshape them, but too many links between different silos, that's a red flag. Also, what's another red flag is if I see too many branches coming out of each node, starting with the central, the middle, the core, right? I don't want to see more than 5 branches coming out of that. More than 5 means that you are starting to become flat architecture, like a mega menu, like a blog. In the image I give is you have like a pearl necklace. You put pearls on top of one another. That's blogging. No, we don't do that. Every page is in the right place, has a purpose, and we want to go deep. We want to build a pyramid of content. We want to build a pyramid of content that goes deep and not wide. Deep. And that pyramid doesn't have to be even. You could have silos way stronger, way bigger than others. That's not the point. It doesn't matter. Just make it big. Make it wide. Not flat. Deep and wide. Going in. It's a pyramid of content. This time the pyramid is pointing upwards. And you want to avoid going too flat. Well, if at one point there's 100 branches coming out of one node and it makes sense, well, yeah, I agree. If it makes sense, sure, why not? Most of the time, 99.99999% of the time, it could be subdivided, merged, or reshaped in some kind of form to make it go deeper. And you can totally create hubs that don't have any value for SEO. They're just there to make the page rank as semantic juice flow well. It's like a crank. It just makes everything, and you put some oil, so everything is flowing. Very important is you're going to put a number next to the page. Each page is going to have a number from at least 1 to 4. You could go deeper than that, but pages with a 1, it's from a classification of commercial ambition. So 1 is usually about 5% of your site. It's the top pages, the ones that make all your money. The rest of the strategy, everything else is at the service of these 5% of less pages that make all the business. That's going to equal to 65-70% of your income. Remember the Pareto principle. And then if there's a 2, as the remaining 50%, 5 per 15 equals 20. I can count 15 plus 5, but not much more than that. And then, so you have 1 is most important pages. The rest, everything else is at the service of those pages. With a 2, still SEO ambition, money, but to a lesser extent, because the investment on the pages with a 1 is no limit. Some of my clients spend 15, 20,000 euros on one page. I mean, if you want to do photo shoot, videos, copywriting, that's another word you need to check out if you don't know about copywriting. Copywriter is a seller with a typewriter, how to sell with words. So yeah, 1 is precious, 1 are the most important. Everything else is about making those pages rank first. With the 2, still some value, but not as much. And It could change, okay? Number 3 is it has some SEO value, but not commercial. Okay? Remember the information funnel? 90% of your content is not there to sell. 90%. If you are not ready to make that sacrifice, well, this is not for you. It won't work. Go back to the old school landing page, one page optimized for keyword, and throw punching backlinks until you rank and you derank because you push too hard. So we got to try to do less is more. We try to be smarter, which means that we need to go through the information tunnel in a smart way, and we need to be able to sacrifice 90% of the content to help out people who search, to help out people who compare, who evaluate, and then we'll get into the 10%. If you are not ready to build, to publish, to create 90%, 9 pages out of 10 have nothing to do with selling. Okay? Has to do with helping. Once you understand that, once you agree to do that, you are on the way to victory. If it's still not right, if you're still focused on I want my product page to rank and I don't want to build content, or you fake it, I open up a blog and I publish some news. That's not real content strategy. High value information, evergreen, doesn't expire, news expire. I don't do news, I don't do blogging, I don't do community management, I do search. And again, if you are helping out the person throughout the entire information funnel, don't you think that when you come down to 10%, I have a tremendous advantage over those who are just about, hey, buy or F off? Okay, because that's what e-commerce is all about. Buy or F off. That's it. No second choice. I have 2, 3, 4 level of call to actions when I try to engage. Okay, I engage. I don't try to say buy or leave. You have different options. Try to be a little more smarter. Try to put yourself in the head of your buyer persona. It's going to work out. It's not that you did the reverse. It's that you didn't know, or the people who helped you out. I don't know. Again, I'm no genius. I've just been doing this for so long that makes sense for me. I hope it does for you. So number 3 and 4. Number 3, SEO ambition, but not commercial. Number 4 is no SEO ambition. Those pages could be free or cost very little, and you want volume. No spam indexing, you could have, number 4 is, for example, like an image. Okay, you have an image or embed of a video, and you describe 300, 500 words to describe what's in the image, and that's a cool page. That's a number 4 page. It's not meant to rank on anything. It's not gonna impress anyone, but it's a page, and a page builds links, and links improve your ranking, push the other pages. Everybody is in the right place doing something very specific. Okay? Each page has a role to play in the whole structure. 1, they just rank. 2 and 3, they rank, some commercial, some non-commercial, but they play a big role in the whole internal linking strategy. And 4, they just build links. Volume matters. You always want to have some leftover. It's just brainstorming. It's just a mind map. So build hundreds and hundreds and thousands of nodes. If you just want to test the water, what most people do, they're going to build 30 pages, they're going to put it out, and If you're convinced that it works, then invest more. But of course, with 30 pages, don't pretend that you're going to rank first on payday loans or women's shoes, okay? Do something, again, low competition, less than 10,000 or 100,000 with a all in title operator on Google. In a few minutes, I'm going to tell you about the smell of the SERP and why it's a bad idea to rank your product page if all the other ones right before you have exactly the same signal. But first, let's talk about internal linking. And my system of siloing it's easy. You got a main page, we'll call it the mother. It doesn't have to be the homepage. Like I told you, I don't like the homepage too much because too much technical limitations and marketing priorities that are gonna kill the SEO ambition. Too difficult. So it doesn't have to be the homepage. The mother is linking to two different silos, son A and B, and links are going back and forth between the sons and the mother, and also the brothers are linked together. Then we have the grandson AA and the grandson AB, grandson BC, BB, BA. Okay? Silo A, silo B. Grandsons are linking back and forth to the son. Grandsons are linked together, but grandsons don't link to the mothers. Okay? Just one level deep. And each link has different type of power. The link between the grandsons or the brothers, I use weak links. I use links in the form of list at the end of the content to notify. It's just for Google to know who is in relation to what. It's not to push the page. The links that go down from mother to son, from son to grandson, they have medium power. And then the links that go back up the hierarchy, those have the strongest power because they are positioned at the top of the content, within the content. The link that goes back up is the more important. You got to put that at the beginning of your content and within the text, not on the sidebar, not menu links or anything like that. Inside the content, and the first link matter. If you got several links pointing to the same page, only the first one in the source code counts. So be careful about that. The internal linking, usually it's easy. Nobody gets it wrong. Well, actually, no, not true. I just corrected exercises by some students, and it wasn't respectful of my way of doing things. But who cares? All that matters is, does it work or not? My system works. This is the main, like your main rail, and then you can branch out. And like I said before, in the mind map, you're gonna cross links and all. But the basic siloing works. Could be called topical clustering, siloing, semantic, whatever. I call it the topical mesh because the topical mesh, well, I had to start with something to give a general, broad recommendation that works most of the time. So the structure, the way the pages are linked, that's the easy part. That's not hard to understand. The hardest part is the smell of the SERP, and we're getting to that very quickly. But first, if you notice, we went from the global, the mind map, the big strategy. Step 2, we see how the pages are linked together, and step 3, the last is which is actually our step 7, but in that from broad to specific, it's the last part, which is the page in itself. And if you understand this whole like semantic SEO thing, very easy. Let's play the mystery word game. So I have a card with a mystery word, and I have to make you guess that mystery word. TV shows, board games use this concept. Old school SEO, you repeat the keyword as many times as you can until you stuff the page everywhere with this keyword, and you repeat it, and you repeat it. But if I tell you Jaguar, what am I talking about? The car, the animal. I repeat 200 times Jaguar. No context. It used to work. Well, you would rank on the animal, the car, and big mess. That was old school Google. Now, Google is able to understand, for example, I like the example that my friend Christine used during our podcast when she said, well, if you talk about Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, well, all those characters from the Marvel universe world, and you might not mention Marvel at all, but Google will be able to guess that the main topic is Marvel DC. That's the mystery word game. That's it. So do a test. Take a piece of content. Take a piece of your content. Take the first 500 words. Remove every instance of the keyword. Okay, you have the main query, and you go to remove every time you have the keywords that make up the query. Can you still understand what is going on? Can you still understand what is the main topic? You just remove like a handful of words. That's it. And it doesn't make sense anymore. Do a test. Go to Wikipedia, take the introduction on any topic, and play the mystery word game. Read it out loud. It's better. It makes more sense. And replace the topic, of the page by mystery word. For example, okay, the mystery word is a British car, luxury with on the symbol of the car, the logo is animal from the jungle, a predator, and if I'm good, yeah, maybe you're gonna guess Jaguar, the car, and not the animal. Even if I'm a little bit confusing the search engine there because I spoke about the animal a little bit. You should avoid that, actually. So sorry, a little bit of a fail on my part. If you understand the mystery word game, that's it. There's nothing else to understand. That's all. That's it. That you understood semantic SEO. That's going on. On the page, okay, you got to play the mystery word on the page. You have a good page if you describe the topic without saying the topic. Then you can spray a couple of times, 2-3 times, have my keywords, and that's it. I'm talking about the first block, okay, the first like 500 words. If you want to believe in this 2,000 word nonsense, it's a myth. Check out the channel SEO Conspiracy, the other video about the 2,000 word limit. It's bullshit, but whatever. But the beginning of your content needs to answer precisely the mystery word game, exactly like Wikipedia does it. Examine, analyze how Wikipedia, maybe Wikipedia has a boost by Google, who knows, but Wikipedia is doing a very good job at the mystery word game. The news articles are not doing a very good job, and you are probably not doing a good job, or you could most likely doing a better job at it. If you understand the mystery word game, then on the page, well, guess what? The topical mesh, that's exactly the same thing. Around the page, we play the mystery word game. And that's why before I almost made a spoiler. I almost spoiled my mystery word game because I was talking about the insight, the internal linking. Same thing. You gotta play the mystery word game within your site. Who is in relation to what and why? Less is more. Instead of flipping a coin, you are sitting on a hidden treasure. Your internal linking is crap. It doesn't work. It's not efficient. Play the mystery word game on the page, around the page within the site, and guess what? Around the site, same thing. Same thing. Who is in relation to what and why? On the page, around the page within the site, and around the URL. Again, domain authority is also a myth. It's URL by URL. The homepage is just a nice page because it has a lot of page rank, because there's a lot of links pointing to it. But don't believe in everything you read about SEO, and even don't believe anything I say right now. Steal me. Take what I say, use it, and proof is on the screen. Does it work or not? Figure it out. Before we get into the smell of the SERP, and we're almost done, you get a link, that topical mesh, to the rest of the website. And this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because for a test, for you to realize, like, to build a proof of concept or a sample of something that works, well, if you want to integrate the topical mesh in the existing site, and for example, it's e-commerce or blog, it's gonna have a horrible internal linking structure. And unless you want to get into high-level cloaking is not a crime. Cloaking is not black hat. You can, if you don't touch one comma of the content, if you just touch the structure, it's perfectly safe. Again, cloaking is not a crime. Cloaking is forbidden by Google. It's not forbidden, it just violates the Google guidelines. Nobody's preventing you from doing whatever you want. It's not illegal, okay? You won't go to jail if you're going to cloak your site. You might get penalized. So what? It's part of the game. But if you do, I was getting because of the black hat, but it's another discussion for another day. Okay, let's agree that cloaking is also a white hat technique. It can be used very efficiently if you want to present one structure to one kind of user and another structure to another kind of user. The mobile version of a website is cloaking. AMP is cloaking. Forums, they are cloaking since 1997, when they present a lighter page to a search engine and to the user the page with all the links everywhere. That's cloaking. In cloakingveritas.com. Check it out. It's my old my old cloaking codes that a student took over, and he built the entire framework. It's open source. Don't be afraid. You can, cloaking is the way to go if you want to get rid of all those mega menus and all that stuff and have a really nice, perfect structure just for the bots, just for Google Bot. It's allowed. It's actually recommended. You're going to help the search engine. What do you think? I mean, if you got a messy structure, if you're a Google Bot, what do you prefer to visit? Like a website that's just gonna be a big mess, okay? A website that's just gonna have like links all over the place, that just everything is kind of linked together with mega menus and so on, or you're gonna prefer a structure with everything is in the right place, who is in relation to what and why, every page has a purpose, everything is in order. Put some order into your hidden treasure. Internal linking. A link is a link. You're wasting valuable asset by not using the topical mesh as your main strategy to rank. Really. And we'll get into backlinks right after that. Almost done. I'm on time. So, to keep it simple, if you're not going to go into cloaking, if you're not going to change over the whole website, it's just if you just want a proof of concept, or if you just want to prove to someone else that your idea is the right one, then open up a directory. I like directories better than subdomain. Whatever Google says, no, directories, the juice flows better. A subdomain is a new website. www is a different website, actually. It's a subdomain. So yeah, directory, call it info, guide, blog, even if you want. And then you're going to put the topical mesh inside there. You're going to install WordPress. WordPress by default is bad. It's a bad structure. It doesn't work. But you can change it. Instead of using the post, you use the pages. And the pages, you can link them freely exactly as you want. If you use the post, there is the date stamp and it doesn't work. It's a mess. The posts are not good. You want to use the pages instead of the post. And I got a couple of tools. I got a couple of WordPress plugins to help you with that. But like I said, no plugs. So yeah, no promo code, no sales pitch. Everything is on FrenchTouchSEO.com. My plugins are called Rank for Win and Bombix for WordPress. But you also have all my friends on there. Those are the first ones who raised the finger when I gave out for free my strategy, and very talented developers came out with insane tools. We're way advanced on the rest of the world because we've been doing it for such a long time. Since 2012, those tools are in development. And I started out with Textualizer with an S.net. Check it out. It's still relevant, that tool. But that's all I had. And now I have Rank for Win. I can build a website in 5 minutes. The mind mapping tool, it's inside the plugin, the WordPress plugin. I can. There's a whole assistant to help you write down the content. But again, I just get excited when I talk about my stuff. It doesn't matter. Another day, I'll present it to you. But it's not for today. You can totally do it. And I recommend you do it first by hand. A tool is just there to make your life easier. Even if I can build a website in 5 minutes with my tool, with my plugin, struggle a little bit. Understand the concept. Do it by hand. And then, if you understand the mystery word game, then you understand how a semantic analysis tool is wrong or right, or is helping you out, or is telling you just a bunch of nonsense. You know how it works. You have 3,000 whatever it's called inside your brain. You're much more than a tool. It has to make sense. When I started the Topical Mesh in 2004-07, I had no tools. Now we have amazing tools, but don't be a button presser. The SEOs that just press a button and expect results. Don't be one of those. I might be an OG. I might be one of those who just figured everything out from scratch because there was nothing before. We had to figure it out. People thought that was easy. No, that wasn't easy. It's a different mindset. When I couldn't go onto YouTube and say, oh, how do I learn semantic SEO? Or how do I make money with dropshipping? There was nothing before, so we had to figure it out. Okay. So, if you open the WordPress inside a directory and you build your topical mesh, you build like 30, 60, 90 pages, well linked, and you know where you want to what goal you want to reach, and you figure out the means to reach that goal. More or less, okay, I'm gonna need to push a lot. So do I need 3,000 pages, 330? That's depending on if it's low, medium, or high competition. But less than 30 pages, you don't have a topical mesh. You got, a bunch of pages, but I like to at least 30 pages. Backlinks, you can't, the frequency, the volume of backlinks, you gotta chill. But pages on site, right? The links within your site, you don't have the limitations that we have with backlinks now. So you can publish 60,000 pages at once. Why not? If it makes sense, if it's not spammy, yeah, you can, for sure. HTML sitemap. XML sitemaps don't work. They don't help your SEO. They don't do anything. They just help Google discover the page. Well, I believe that HTML sitemap or inlinks help you better discover, or help Google will better discover than you don't need the sitemap. Do a test. Publish 100 pages. No links between the pages. None. Just upload the pages on the server without any internal linking. Submit all the sitemaps you want. All of them. And call me if you get good results. On the other hand, build a topical mesh of 100 pages, no XML sitemaps, and watch what's going to happen. So the HTML sitemap, or at least you need the entry point to your topical mesh. So the homepage is a good source of PageRank, so you want to put links on the homepage. But I also like to build a good old HTML sitemap, link from every page in the footer. That page, that sitemap is important because that's the main juice you're going to bring to your topical mesh. Meaning, make it beautiful. Make it like you mean it. Make it like you want to show it to your mom. Meaning, do it by hand, okay? Don't just list all the URL. Context, text, before, after, okay? Again, mystery word, right? So what comes before and after the link is important instead of just having a list of links. Yeah, put images, videos, headers. Make it nice. If it's automatic, well, build the XML file, okay? Not the sitemap.xml, by taking out the picture, the title, the date, the introduction. Make it nice. This is an important page, the HTML sitemap. I might be old school, but it works. It served me good. Make it beautiful. Make it amazing enough to show your mom. Almost done. Now we're getting into the smell of the SERP. That's the most difficult of them all. And I only have questions. I don't have like a checklist of number one, you do this. It's just a mindset. And you got to spend thousands, tens of thousands of hours staring at those search engine result pages, figuring out what does Google want future and what does Google has present and past. All I know is what does Google want to go is type a query like Olympic Games, NFL, La Liga, or some COVID, whatever. You got to see that Christmas tree light up with the answers, knowledge graph, position 0, some news, videos, photos, social, encyclopedia, official sites, all that, answering different intents. Then type women's shoes on sale and look up. It's going to be the first 100 results are all the same. All products and categories. And the fight there is just backlinks. The bigger you have it, the better you rank. Binary. Landing page and backlinks. And they all have the same exact page, same signal. There's not one better than another. So now the question I'm asking is, you don't have the budget like the other ones, but you want your precious product page to rank. Well, sorry, be smarter. Just be creative. I've done it, it works. Pages that present the product, that explain how to use the product, that review the product, those pages sell very well. Those videos sell very well. If you're just too lazy and you just want your product page to rank, sorry, my strategy is not for you. Just build backlinks. That's it. if you want to be smart, if you want to give people, if you want to give Google and people what they want, because Google wants to answer different intents. It's throwing up product pages it can't take anymore, and you want to give it. No, be smarter. So now, how do you smell the SERP? Well, you look at everything. Everything is there. Google is trying to tell you something. It does. Why then any videos? Why then any photos? Where's the knowledge graph? Where's the show? Where's the whole Christmas tree? Why is it missing? Well, now it's machine learning. It's RankBrain. It's BERT, hummingbirds. The boss at Google, it's not like in the old days. Now it's a robot, an algorithm trying to classify everything. Everything needs to be in the right place, and it's doing a bad job right now. Everything with nuance, with finesse, it's dumbing out the information. So the May 2020 core update was trying to bring back a little bit of granularity into the results, because it was too dry. So what does Google want? What does Google has? It's very, very interesting if you get into learning how to see. I take photos. A good photographer is able to see what normal people don't see. So learn how to be a good SEO by looking. Hey, Google is trying to tell you something you just can't understand. Exactly like a photographer is able to see the light, relations of the shapes, composition, and everything, the story. It's a reverse drawing. I used to draw and paint, and then a photograph is an instant drawing in 1/500th of a second. So I'm old school, okay? No. Well, this is a real camera. This is the old school film camera, and I still love it. But if you learn to see what other people don't see, you have a real tremendous superpower. Okay? You got to work on that. Smell the SERP. I can't get into too much details. There could be like a whole series of, a whole series of video in themselves. It's a big challenge. It's the most challenging skill you need to acquire, but it's the most powerful. Trust me, once you have it, I get goosebumps just thinking about, wow, how much power you have once you understand what does Google want, and stop feeding what Google has, present or past. Now, to end up, like I said, we build a strong SEO layer based on really high-level semantic SEO. But what I do today, and I come from marketing, branding background, so it was easy for me to integrate the SEO layer within a global content marketing strategy. We're not going to do it like those who lose at SEO, because it's just an add-on. They do the website, they do the whole thing, and then they put up the SEO on top of it like they can with little resources, little money, little time, and it'll work. No, we have that strong SEO layer. Now, what we're going to do is produce a content calendar. So it's easy. Let's do an average content calendar. You got 4 columns, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and 12 lines, January, February, until November and December. So you got 52 spots, 52 events, 52 topics. It could be very basic, meaning you take topics from your topical mesh, from your mind map, and you spread them out. That's the basic strategy. But you'll see that we're going to do some content marketing around it. Or you can level up, and your content calendar can include dates like regular days. If you want to do something around April Fools, if you want to do something for Valentine's Day or whatever, dates of the calendar. Then dates of your industry. You are within the industry. You have special events, special occasions. You want to communicate around that, and you could also have content for social media, challenges, ask me anything. Yeah, content that's built to become viral on social media. So even though my main content calendar is about SEO, I'm building layers upon layers upon layers to achieve 364 pieces of content per year, every day. This is what I'm going to do with SEO Conspiracy. Study what I do. Look at the description in the videos. Look at how I dispatch the content, how I can communicate on video, images, text, and audio. 4 formats of content: text, images, video, audio. One topic equals dozens, hundreds, thousands of pieces of content. You get a subdivide. You shoot a 20-minute video, well, make 15 to 1 minute clips and make as many as you can. Then take out the image like I do here, and you get a podcast. But make sure to respect the people listening. If they don't figure out what you're saying because you're sharing your screen, it's not going to work. Also, images. How do I make images with, for example, an interview? Well, I do quotes, things that are not so stupid that we say during the discussion. I build images with that. And then text, easy. From the 280 characters tweet to the full transcription of the video, you got X variations of the content. And even if you do text, now you got technology to build videos out of images and text. Go search text to video and you'll find tools that build videos out of text and images. It blows my mind. It's crazy. I built my whole strategy from a video. I built the rest. And now you got even possibilities to build videos out of text. It's insane. Anyway, that's the first phase. Creation of the content. X variation, not copy and paste. No, not one teaser that you're going to push every day on every platform. And you need to micro adjust. The format of the video is different on Twitter and Instagram. The way you tweet is different than the way you post on Facebook, okay? And so on. So micro adjust on the distribution level. That's phase 2. Phase 1, you create numerous declination variation on those 4 formats. And number 2, you distribute all throughout the week. The pipelines, you can go on conversationprism.com to illustrate all those pipelines, all the Web 2.0. So at 7 a.m. GMT, every Monday, we debunk one myth with Dixon Jones on this channel. That's on YouTube and on iTunes and all the other podcasting platforms. Then 7:03 could be a tweet, text tweet. 7:06 could be Instagram an image. And on Facebook could be a teaser video, like 30 seconds. And then 8:12 could be a teaser video on Twitter and a text with a video on Instagram and an image and text on Facebook and so on. And don't try to just copy and paste. Try to micro adjust and spread it out all throughout the week. And if you're good, 365 days a year, all year round. If you're bad, it's only once a month, so it's going to be 12 operations. Think about it as an event, not a piece of content, not a topic, an event. You got to build an entire event around that topic. And imagine that during the week, you flood the web, you flood the internet, you enter the conversation also. That's the next step. Next step is promotion. You gotta promote the content. Use some alert. Google Alert sucks, but mention Alerty or do it by hand. Search, okay? Use the search on YouTube and so on to whenever the topic arises, whenever there's a conversation about the topic, enter it. But don't spam. Don't be silly like those people I see. Hey, can we be friends? Oh, excellent. I love your content. Please check out my profile. No, please pay attention to people. Look up watch the video, read the text, check out the image, and then put down the point of view. Try to be relevant. Try to enter the conversation. It's about them. Be generous. Don't do this stupid spam commenting thing. It's just worthless. It just doesn't make you look good. It makes you look worthless and pitiful. So, but if you pay attention, if you're interesting, if you're relevant, and you enter a conversation, well, guess what? Something is going to happen. It's going to come back to you. Promotion. First creation, distribution, promotion, analytics. You're going to analyze the results, and then you rinse and you repeat, meaning you adjust upon what you saw on the data. You got to base your decision on data. Data is power. If I hear I think that Facebook is dead because my parents are not using Facebook anymore. Yeah, whatever, okay? I think that YouTube doesn't work because I tried one video and I only got 12 views. Yeah, sure. Data is power. Content marketing, I went very fast on that phase, but check it out. Try to understand the process of content marketing and really how to produce tons of content, build an event around the topic. And this is what you're going to do around SEO for SEO to work. But it's not only about SEO. It's about branding. Remember, my pie, authority, popularity, notoriety. That's when it comes into play. And if you don't do that, if you just do the SEO, the text version, well, you'll never know. You'll never know. And that's in the past. And even within the search engine result page, as far as I know, you got text, you got images, you got videos, and you got even audio. Podcasts are showing up now. So the 4 formats are in Google. And if you only focus on Google SEO, why don't you produce content in text, images, video, audio? I don't know, but I do. Here's the proof. Okay, we're going to finish up with the black hat. Out of all the great techniques of link building, and sure, I know, I've done it many times, building great content that deserved links. I know how to do it. Better than any Googler out there because they've never done it. Those who are the official voices of Google today, they've never built one piece of content on their own that deserves link. Not only have done it once, but many, many times. So I know what it's like. But I'm no Teletubbies SEO. And I think you need to control one part of your links. So let's say that you go on a slow pace, easy pace. You're going to build once a week a website that you control. It's not going to be obvious that it's your website. You got to be smart about it. And don't go into this PBN, private blog network, or public blog network thing. I'm an OG, so I call that a link wheel or a private link network. Has nothing to do with the PBN thing because that's stupid blog. I don't like blogs, okay? Again, you got to make a website. It could be just a 5-page website, but it needs to... are you proud enough that you can show it to your mom? Again, we go back to that. If you spend 2 to 4 hours a week building a tiny little website, and of course, you're not going to register it to your name, you're not going to... And you're going to make it natural. You're going to make a whole variation. I can only speak about it very quickly, but I'm gonna get back on this topic later on another day, because that's important. But on a slow pace of one website a week done by hand, no WordPress, even HTML. That's how I'd like to do things. They need to be pretty, they need to be relevant, and you need to build outbound links to different websites that are authorities in your industry. And then amongst those links, there's going to be a link towards your website, and not always from the homepage to the homepage. Of course, you're going to use expired domains, but it doesn't prevent you from also linking that domain. So that's why it's a link wheel, because you have different levels. Exactly, it's a continuation of the topical mesh offsite. On the site, the topical mesh, or around the site, is exactly the same thing, same concept. And the whole ecosystem around your website, you need to control one part. One website a week, you got 50 websites at the end of the year, by hand. No script, no WordPress, no nothing, no blogs, no forums, no complicated website. Just, again, it's bulletproof. Even if you get penalized, even if Google dares to send you that message into the search console, well, you can remove the link, because it's different that if you went buying links or spamming links all over the place and you got to remove them, or if you can just press a button and all the links are gone. And that network of website, you'll use it for something else. So don't worry, it's not wasted. But it's a whole difference if you just do that disavow file. I never used it. Or if you really remove the links. What's the difference between getting back out of the penalty in manual penalty in 1 week or 6 months, or never? Well, never, no. Usually they expire, the penalties. So, but yeah, private link network, but do it nice. Make it nice enough that you can show your mom. I'll leave it at that. Then that's it, guys. Do it, feed it to Google, and then Google is going to tell you if you're right or not. If you do it, good job, it's going to work. There's no way around it. My strategy works. It's proven. I have the background. I've been doing it for so long, so many people. It's hard for me to explain because it all happened in France, it all happened in French. So I don't want to brag too much about it, but yeah, it's the number one strategy, SEO strategy in France. So, and we have the most amazing tools in the world, because we started way before anybody else in the world. That's why we're not smarter, but we're way ahead. So try it out. Feed it to Google, then you need to adjust, because that's also very important. The last phase is adjusting. Google telling you what it likes. And remember, you only have two levers, on-page and links. So regulate the on-page signal. If it's good, you have no more potential there. And it's about links. How do you build links? More pages on your topical mesh, or backlinks and backlinks. Both, they work together. Links are links. And I like backlinks. I like links. I like links. Links is life. Links is SEO. That's how you rank. Links, links, links. But because you can't push too hard with backlinks, you can push way harder with inlinks. So you almost have no limit inside with the topical mesh, where you get to chill with the backlinks. So please exploit, utilize this hidden treasure instead of wasting it, and build a proper topical mesh to rank. It works. Trust me, it works. So now, to end up, I'm finished. I wanted to talk about the tools, but like I said, it's already a couple hours. Just go to FrenchTouchSEO.com. But as a reminder, 2005, I started with Textualizer, with an S, not the Z, .net. In 2005 and 2020, I have rank4win.com with a 4, the number. It's insane, really insane. Where do I come from and how we are today? I'm not saying that other tools are bad. Some might work, some might not, but the ones on FrenchTouchSEO.com, I recommend. I help develop. I can vouch for them. All the other ones, I don't know. Those ones, they do the job for me, and they were the first one to say, yeah, I believe in what you do, so I'm coming on board. I'm going to do something great. I don't have any financial interest. Only my 2 tools, Rank4Win and Bombig for WordPress. That's it. That's my tools. The other ones, I'm just very happy to push them, to present them to the world, because they were the first ones to believe in what I say. So thank you for listening. I know it's a long one, but in my opinion, why is it the best solution to rank first on Google and to stay first on Google, and also to win the game of undervalued attention, okay, throughout the information funnel? It's a complicated world. It's hard to break through the noise. You need a solid strategy. You need to do what is required. You need to have the means in front of your ambitions. You want to play big with the big boys? Well, you need time and or money. But with less time and money, by working out smart, you can coming through the window if you can't come in through the door. That's my strategy. That's how I do things. SEO is hard, but it doesn't have to be this magic trick performed by some gurus that kind of scare you. And yeah, I won't lie, depending on your ambitions, it's work. It's not sexy. You gotta publish content, you gotta build links, and again, and again, and again. We can have fun all day long with Black Hat SEO if you want, but that was not my purpose here. So even if I threw in the little private link network, because I believe strongly that the link wheel, not the PBN, the link wheel, my version of the link wheel, the continuation of the topical mesh offsite. Again, forgot to tell you that, but who is in relation to what and why, okay? It's not just any websites around your website. Similar or, yeah, mystery word game. Played all around, and that's it. Okay, did I put some down? Yes, last advice. Never give up. The worst enemy of SEO is not doing anything. So yes, of course, some people say, yeah, okay, I see the screenshot of analytics like going like that. It's not because of the topical mesh, it's just they publish content. Yeah, right. If they publish content, they wouldn't see like an increase like this. It would be more maybe like this or like this, but not like this. So yeah, it works. But great SEOs never give up. I gave you the strategy to rank first on any kind of keyword, even the biggest one you never dreamed of. You just need the resources. That's the only question mark. Do you have the means? Do you have the time and or the money? But I showed you today, everything can be done free of charge, by hand, no tools, no investment. That's how I did it back in the days, with my 10 fingers, and build links myself and brought down the pages and build the sites, no CMS, no WordPress, nothing. So, okay, never give up. You won't bleed, you won't even sweat. It won't hurt, I promise, I swear. Test it out. Get back to me. Let's move forward. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. Now you know what to do. Merci. Au revoir.